Ever been told you're only using a tiny fraction of your brain's actual power? It's a classic, right? A line dropped in movies to unlock some hidden human potential? Or what about this one, staring at the TV late at night in a dark room will absolutely wreck your eyesight for good? Your parents probably warned you about that one. And let's not forget the ultimate playground legend about swallowing chewing gum. Does it take up residence in your stomach for a whopping 7 years? These are the kinds of facts that we hear so often they just become true in our minds. They're passed down generation to generation without much question. Well, today we're doing the questioning. My name is Alex, and I love digging into the stories we tell ourselves. We're going to take these common beliefs, these bits of everyday wisdom, and put them under the microscope. We're looking at the science, or sometimes the surprising lack of it, behind some of the biggest beliefs about your brain, your late-night TV habits, and yes, even that piece of gum you might have accidentally swallowed last week. We're going to separate the solid facts from the flimsy fiction, and I have a feeling we're going to uncover some fascinating truths along the way. So, get comfortable, maybe grab a notepad, because it's time to challenge what you think you know. We're about to embark on a myth-busting journey that will take us from the inner workings of our own minds to the bottom of a goldfish bowl. I promise you by the end of this, you'll have a few new facts to share the next time one of these classic myths pops up in conversation. Get ready to have some of that common knowledge turned completely on its head. Let's get started. All right, let's dive right into the big one, the granddaddy of neurological myths. The idea that we humans only use a measly 10% of our brain's capacity. You've heard it everywhere. From self-help gurus promising to unlock your hidden potential to sci-fi thrillers where the hero gains superpowers by accessing the other 90%. It sounds so tantalizing, doesn't it? This vast, untapped reservoir of intelligence and power just waiting to be switched on. It suggests we're all walking around with a supercomputer that's mostly turned off. But I'm here to tell you, as much as I love a good superhero origin story, this one is pure fiction. The truth is, you're using pretty much all of your brain, all of the time. Think about it. Even when you're just sitting there, seemingly doing nothing, maybe just listening to me talk right now, your brain is firing on all cylinders. The occipital lobe is processing the visual information from your screen, your temporal lobes are handling the sound of my voice, your frontal lobe is engaged in higher-level thought, and your cerebellum is busy managing your posture and balance. There are no dormant, unused areas just waiting for a special key. It's a symphony of activity, not a solo performance. So where did this incredibly persistent myth even come from? It's hard to pin down the exact origin, but some historians point to misinterpretations of early neuroscience research from over a century ago. Scientists like William James once speculated about our untapped mental potential, and somehow that got twisted and quantified into this very specific, very wrong 10% figure. It's a number that's just sticky. It's easy to remember and sounds plausible enough to repeat, which is the perfect recipe for a myth to take hold and refuse to let go for decades. Let's look at the hard evidence from modern science. With tools like fMRI and PET scans, neuroscientists can watch the brain in action in real time. What do they see? They see that over the course of a single day, virtually every single part of the brain shows some level of activity. Even during sleep, areas like the frontal cortex, which controls thinking and self-awareness, are active. Your brain is constantly working, repairing, consolidating memories, and keeping your body's essential functions running smoothly. There's no vast, dark, silent 90% in there. It's all lit up. Consider the evolutionary angle. The human brain is an incredibly greedy organ. It makes up only about 2% of our body weight, yet it consumes a staggering 20% of our oxygen and calories. From a purely biological and evolutionary standpoint, it makes absolutely no sense for nature to favor the development of such a resource-intensive organ if 90% of it was just dead weight. Evolution is ruthlessly efficient. It doesn't build expensive, useless additions. If we didn't need that much brain power, we wouldn't have evolved to have it. Another nail in the coffin for this myth is what happens when the brain is damaged. If 90% of our brain were truly unused, then damage to many areas should have little to no effect. But we know from countless clinical cases that's not true at all. A stroke, a head injury, or a lesion, even a very small one, can have devastating and specific consequences on a person's ability to speak, to remember, to move, or even to recognize faces. This demonstrates that every part of the brain has a specific and important function. Think of your brain not as a storage hard drive with most of its space empty, but as a complex muscle group. You might not be using every single muscle in your body at maximum capacity at the same time, but they are all there, all connected, and all essential for the full range of movement and function. Your brain is the same way. Different regions are more active depending on the task at hand, but they all work together in a complex, interconnected network. You're not just using a small part of it, you're using it all, just in different ways at different times. So the next time someone tells you that you're only using 10% of your brain, you can confidently tell them that's a myth. You are, in fact, using the whole thing. The real key to unlocking your potential isn't about finding a mythical on switch for the other 90%. It's about learning how to use the amazing, powerful, and fully active 100% of the brain you already have more effectively through learning, practice, and curiosity. Now that's a much more exciting and realistic goal, isn't it?